Beat. What is a beat? We hear this term all the time in music education. On the beat, off the beat, behind the beat, 4 beats a measure. But what is it? In music, the beat is simply the basic unit of time. It is a part of the music that you tap your foot along to. It is the basic pulse of all music that we listen to. Tempo. Tempo is the speed at which a musical piece is played. It is usually indicated in the upper left-hand corner of a piece of music, which will often give a funny Italian name for the tempo, such as allegro or grave. Sometimes an exact tempo is given, telling you to play, say, 100 beats per minute. If you tap your foot along to a piece with a slow tempo, you will find that your foot taps slower. For example, the first movement of Sonata 8, Pathétique by Beethoven, begins in the grave tempo, which is very slow. It's quite slow. On the other hand, the third movement of Pathétique is given the tempo allegro, which means to play the piece quite quickly. Time signature. A time signature tells you how beats are grouped in a composition. Though groupings of 4 beats is probably the most common, this grouping of beats in a piece can be whatever the composer decides. It can even change in the middle of a composition. Time signature is indicated in music composition at the beginning of a piece by 2 numbers. The top number tells you how many beats there are in a measure. The bottom number tells you what kind of note duration counts as a beat. Here is a piece in 4/4. It's a Bach's Prelude in C out of the Well-Tempered Clavier. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. As you can see, that's in 4/4, which is probably the most standard time. You can also have pieces in 3/4, which are usually referred to as waltzes. Here is a piece in 3/4. It is the second movement in the Moonlight Sonata by Beethoven. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Pitch. Pitch is the relative highness or lowness of a note, and I don't mean loudness. You can still have loud low-pitched sounds and quiet high-pitched sounds. The piano, for example, is organized from lowest pitches, down here, to high pitches up here. If we want to get more technical about it, the pitch of a note is determined by the frequency of air pressure waves hitting your ear. The faster the waves, the higher the pitch. Sharp. A sharp is a raising of a pitch by 1 semitone. It looks like a little hashtag or a pound sign, and you will often see it next to notes or in a key signature in written music. When I see a little hashtag next to my note that when I'm sight reading, I know that I'm supposed to play 1 semitone higher than the indicated note. So if I see an A, I would play an A. But if I saw that I was playing an A sharp, I would play 1 semitone up. Hear the difference? Flat. A flat is a lowering of a pitch by 1 semitone. It looks like a little B, and you will often see it next to notes or in a key signature in written music. When I see a little B next to a note when I'm sight reading, I know that I'm supposed to play 1 semitone lower than the indicated tone. For example, if I see an A note, it normally sounds like this. But if I saw that it was an A flat, I would play 1 semitone down. Hear the difference? Key signature. A key signature is a list of sharps and flats at the beginning of a piece of sheet music that tells the musician what scale the piece is primarily using. Oftentimes, a piece will end on the note or chord that the piece is in. For example, Beethoven's Sonata 8, Movement 2, is written in the key of A flat. A flat has 4 flats on A, B, D, and E. So whenever I see a note that is an A, a B, a D, or an E in the sheet music, I will flat that note unless I'm told otherwise. As you can see, I'm playing on all the flats for the song. Melody. A melody is a series of pitches that conveys a musical idea. You will probably recognize this melody. Happy birthday. We all seem to have an innate sense of melody, musical training or not. Usually when you were humming a song that you heard on the radio, you were humming the melody of the song. Harmony. Harmony is what happens when you stack multiple notes on top of each other so that they sound at the same time. When notes are stacked on top of each other, they can be referred to as chords. For example, C, E, and G, when played together, form a C chord. When you want to analyze harmony as it appears in a piece, you want to observe what kinds of patterns are used in this piece. Such patterns are called harmonic progressions, or chord progressions. Here is a melody played over a chord progression. And here's that same melody played over a different chord progression. Notice that I have changed nothing about the melody, but the piece still sounds different. This is because you are hearing the melody over a different harmony, a process called reharmonization.